Okay, what we're working on today is a 2004 PT Cruiser and a 2000 and I believe 3 PT Cruiser. No, I think they're both 2004s. Don't get me wrong now. This is limited edition. It's fully loaded. It's got the sunroof. It's got everything. I've been driving it back and forth to work. I drove this when I first got it. I paid $2,400 for it. I drove it for about 6 months and it started acting up on me. It started overheating. But when I very first bought the car, I was sick and I've been looking for 2 weeks for a car, and I finally got fed up and I found this car for $2,400 and I went ahead and bought it. It's a limited edition PT Cruiser. And when I very first bought the car, it had, you could hear bubbling right here. Sound like the car was bubbling as you drove it. You know, like you could hear it go, blah, 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 you know, right here. I can't really make the noise, but you hear bubbling noises. So I drove it for about 6 to 8 months. You know, I wasn't worried about it. It still ran perfect and everything. But there's little faults to it, like try plugging my radar detector, it wouldn't work. The little cigarette lighter spot didn't work in it. The windows rolled down and all that. That's the only thing I really worried about. You know, it was good. It all worked. Well, after driving it for about 6 to 8 months this summer, when the summer hit, it started overheating. So I took it to the radiator shop. They flushed out the radiator. They said there wasn't nothing wrong with this radiator. They said this radiator had just been put in. It's brand new. So I went and got a new thermostat and I put it in there. I bled it. Right there's your bleeder. Anytime your car's overheating, I always bleed it first. Fill it up with water and let it run, and take this right here and loosen it up, and you'll see air coming out. And when you get a steady stream coming out of this hole right here, that means you've got all the air out of your lungs. If you got air in your radiator, your car's going to run hot. That's just all there is to it. These PT Cruisers are bad for running hot. Now, I've been watching YouTube. They're talking about what good cars they are if you just know how to work on them. Well, I don't know how to work on them. Okay, so I drove this for 8 months, started overheating. I bled it. I done all the stuff to it. Couldn't figure out what was overheating. So I switched to this car. I got this one for $150. And the guy said the car was blowed, the motor was blowed. I hopped in it, started it up, took off, drove fine. I drove this car for about, I don't know, a good 4 months maybe. And then it started overheating. There's something up with the transmission in it. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but it would get me back and forth to work. Well, I sent a mechanic over to look at this car. Don't ever send a mechanic to go look at your car unless you're there. Because if you're not there, more than likely they're going to do something to that car so they can make some money. Well, I thought it was leaking out of the water pump or something. Well, he said because of this right here. See how those look right there? See how that looks right there, the tabs? He said that's why it was leaking water. And I'm like, okay, are you sure? He said, I'm positive. Well, you can see how that looks. Now you can come over here and let's look at this one. See how that one looks? It don't look like that. Well, that wasn't the problem. That was not the problem at all. He got up under the car with a flathead screwdriver. He got up under it. That don't look good, but that's not where it was looking from. He got up under it with a flathead screwdriver. Right down here. Somewhere right up under there. Took a flathead and took a hammer. And he nailed it. And put a hole in it so it drips out water right at the corner of that radiator. That's why you never send a mechanic to look at your car without you, because he's trying to make money off of me. So I parked that car again and went back to this car. What I done is I took the coils off this one because they was brand new, the coils on here were. And you don't have to do everything they say you have to do. They say you have to take the manifold off. You gotta take your gas throttle off, your air intake off. No, you ain't gotta do all that. It's just a piece of rope right here. I just took all 5 of these screws out, lifted it straight up, and took the spark plugs. Right there's your coils, right there. I took the coils off of this one, and I put them on this one and put new spark plugs in it, and it ran fine for a week. Well, day before yesterday, I took off in the car. My wife got back from Buck Hoffman's, the store right down the road, to get a pack of cigarettes. I take off and I seen the tire was getting flat, so I flew to BP and pumped the tire, this tire right here. Well, I hurried up and changed it. I had changed in less than 2 minutes. Well, I hopped back in the car. I hear a big boom. I thought somebody shot at me, so I'm diving down the car. Hop out, tire blew. Dadgummit, you know, I was just tired of working on this car, but I hurried up and changed it out so I could get to work. Well, I make it about halfway down 111, front of the flea market. I'm like about 3 or 4 miles down the road. I forgot to put the freaking radiator cap back on. Because whenever I stopped, I always had to put water in it. I was going to wait till this weekend, and I was going to try to change out the water pump. But if you change out the water pump on these, more than likely you're going to have to change out your timing chain. Everything's on top. Everybody's talking about, oh, you got to take the motor mounts out. No, you don't. Right, here's your mount right here. You take this one screw out, and you ain't even got to have a jack to hold it. You ain't got to have nothing to hold it. You just take that screw out right there, and you ain't got to remove all this crap to get to it. You can get right to the timing chain, but I don't know how to do a timing chain. So, I was driving it last night, and I finally got off side 111, got it here. Well, I guess I should have had it pulled here because I blew a head gasket. And the way you know if you blew a head gasket or not, you see how that looks all milky looking? That's my oil cap. See how it looks all milky? Look at my thumb, you can see it's all milky. There's water in my oil. That means you have blew a head gasket. It'll start up, but it won't go nowhere. It'll drive, but you gotta drive like 80 miles an hour and you gotta run every red light and hit 1,000 cars. But that's how you know if your head gasket's blowed. It'll either look like this right here, or see that dipstick? It'll look all milky looking. That means you have a blowed head gasket. Yes, it does. And this is very common in a PT Cruiser because they are pieces of crap. I know whoever's watching this video is like, man, don't call my car a piece of crap. Well, I'm sorry, if you bought a PT Cruiser, you have bought a piece of junk unless you're a mechanic. Now, I've took both of the fenders off the front of it. I was going to take the radiator. I drained the radiator on this one. It's ready to come out. And I was going to take this one and throw it in this one. Okay, and that's going to be a job. It's something I really don't know how to do. See, I took all this off on that one. You can see all that's off. I don't know what I've done. Oh, there it is. I took all this off. They say to take it off, the way you're really supposed to take it off is take these two things off. If you don't want to scratch your car, this come right loose and you just lay it to the side, and this right here would be the only thing dangling. The only reason I didn't do that is because I don't care if it scratches my car. I just want something that runs. So I don't care if that scratches my bumper. I give two craps about this bumper. I'll kick the whole bumper off. I don't even want the bumper. I don't even want these cars. But anyway, alright. So the way, if you want to know if your head gasket's blowed, is the way I just showed you. This right here will look milky or oil stick. Or when you take the cap off, if it's really bad, you see how that cap looks. That's a blown head gasket. Okay. Now my idea was to take this off. Oh, and another thing about these PT Cruisers. The fan, it was not working. My fan was not working at all. I don't know what happened to it. It was working. And just now all of a sudden it's not working. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But you can always hot wire them straight to your battery. Or get you a little switch put inside your car. These cars have very bad wiring. I don't know why. And you might want to check your fuses. If your fan's not working, like I took some fuses out of the Marine car and stuck over here. You might want to check your fuses. Right here's your fuse box right here. And I'll show you which two fuses it is that goes to your radiator. If I can get to my little box here. Give me a second. Get down in there. I don't know how I got her locked back in there. Thought I had her off. What's going on here? So what we got, yeah. There we go, there we go. This is the way you check it. There's a little button right here, see that? Push that button in and pull it out. Now we got her loose. But now I have two cars not running, and I don't know how I'm gonna get back and forth to work. Okay. Alright, now this right here is goes to your fan. The fuse right there. Right here at the very end. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably could, but anyway, the very fuse right here at the end, on the very far side, this side, the biggest fuse towards you, that's your fuse. And this fuse right here, that fuse right there at the very top, it's in the middle at the very top. Those right there are both fan fuses. And the only way you know if they're good or not is get new ones. If your fan's not working, just buy new ones. There's two fuses. Matter of fact, I'll show you on here. better show you on here. This right here is your radiator fuse. And right there is your radiator fuse. If your fan's not working, go buy these two fuses first and see if it works. And the way you can see if it works or not is start your car, let it run for about 30 minutes, and when it gets to the halfway mark, if your car's running hot, when it gets a little bit above the halfway, or after 30 minutes, your fan should kick on. And you can also turn on your heaters or your air conditioner to see if your fan's working. I turned them both on, I heard air coming in, but these fans were not running. This fan was not running. So my project for today is to take this radiator off and put it on that car. Well, I got started, and before you do all that, you have to get up under the car, and let me find my stuff here. Take this plug out. And before you do this, make sure you take your radiator cap completely off. That way it will come all the way out. And then after you get through draining it, take these hoses off. But it's always good to unhook your cable first. But here's where it is, where you take it out fat. So you know, it's on the driver's side. You look up under here, you see this hose right here. See that hose? Okay, go over. See that spot right there? There's where it's going to come out at. It's on the driver's side, look right here behind, and it's right there. See that little hole right there? See it? Right there it is. Boom. Just remember, right there's your fan, right there's your hose. Just remember that screw right there towards the driver's side. Right there's your hole. It's a little plug. Now, before you loosen it up, I'd spray some WD-40 on it, because if it's not been loosened up in a while, it's not going to come off. And take a pair of pliers and turn and pull. But the way I done it is I sprayed a little bit of WD-40 on it, just turned it with my fingers, took it out, and it didn't just come out of this hole here. It started coming out everywhere. I filled up this bucket, and I filled up the carpet. But that's how you drain your radiator. Alright. I done that. And a lot of people might have like a garage with you might even have some ramps. I didn't have ramps, so I jacked up this side. Because these PT Cruisers are very low to the ground, so it's hard to get up under them. I jacked up this side, and throw you a couple tires, and throw you a couple pallets up under it, in case the car falls while you're up under it, so it don't crush you. Okay, so now, I'm in the middle of trying to get this radiator off, and then I have to go over to this car and have to do the exact same thing. See, I've got all this removed off the top of this car. There ain't no way I'm going to get it done today. This is going to take me like a couple-day project, because I'm not a mechanic. And then you go over here and you take this off. Now, if you want to, you can take this off right here. This is 10 millimeters. You can take these two off if you're worried about scratching up your PT Cruiser, and you don't want to scratch your bumper, and you don't want to scratch it up, and you want to keep it looking nice. Okay, take you a 10 millimeter socket, or whatever you got, air gun, whatever, and take these two off. And then that'll come off there, and then whenever you take this off, you can just set it off to the side like I did the fenders, or whatever you call it, the front things. Anyway, you take two bolts off. One, and there should be two. Yeah, one, two. Take these two bolts off. Take those two bolts off. And this whole thing comes off. And you can lay it over there with that, as long as you take two 10 millimeters and you take these off. And if you don't give a crap about scratching your car up, you can just take those two bolts off and lay this to the side, like I did this one. You know, it was up here like this. See how I had it? Yeah, it was up here like that. Yeah, it was up here like this right here, by God. So here's the way it was. It's sitting like that right there. There's the way she sits. Sits just like that. Well, it goes over a little bit farther, but anyway, it sits like that right there. You gotta put your radiator back. Oh, I about forgot. You guys see those two holes right there? It just sets down, those two holes sits down in there. Look right here. See those two little notches? Right there, see those little holes on top, set that and that. And you find the hole that goes with this one. It just sits right down in there like that right there, and then you put your two screws in there. You got her back together. Now, if you want to do it right, take your two 10 millimeter sockets right here, by golly, and take her right off. And you don't want that ran like that. That right there needs to be on top. But we'll leave her like that because we don't really give a damn. But anyway, we're going to put her just like that right there. And you take your two sockets out, take your two sockets out, take your 10 millimeter socket. Before you take the two bolts out, take you a 10 millimeter right here and a 10 millimeter right here. Take that bad boy off, because you got you a nice PT Cruiser. I got me a piece of shit right here, by God. And then you get right here, and then you take these two off, and then you lift her up like that right there, and you take this big old black piece, and you put it over to the side with the rest of your tools over here, your fenders, and you still got that little thing dangling. You ain't got to worry about having scratches all over your car. Well, not me, because I don't give a damn about that car. I give two shits about that car. If it's up to me, I'd pee on it. I take gasoline, dump all over it, and burn that damn thing. Them damn PT Cruisers ain't worth 2 cents. Okay, and this right here, now I've got to take this off, and I'm going to have to jack it up like I got this bad boy right here jacked up, and I'm going to have to get up under it and hope it don't fall and crush my head, because I don't have the right tools, you know, you understand what I'm saying? But you ain't got to go through everything they're telling you to. And I suggest whenever you take your radiator out of your old car, they say go get new hoses. If you got good hoses, keep them, just put new clamps on them. Get these kind of clamps right here. See how you can screw them with a screwdriver? Get these kind of clamps. See, ever put this one on there. Look how far back that is. That should have been up here. That's back here. Too late now. I better blow the head gasket. Okay, so let's go over here. You see this clamp? You don't want these kind of clamps. Look, you can take a pair of pliers. Look, they're rusted. It just, that clamp's no good. You can't tighten it as tight as you want it. It's just no good. And there is not even a clamp here. There should be a clamp there. There is no clamp there. But this fan works on this one. The guy just put a hole in the bottom of it. That really makes me mad. I'm glad I found those, because I've been looking for them. But it really makes me mad the guy took a screwdriver and knocked a hole in the bottom of this radiator, or I'd still be driving this car. I gave $150 for this car and drove right off with it, and it's running fine. They said it leaked oil. I never seen it leak or drop. But I drove it up until I sent that guy over to go look at it. And sure enough, he put a hole in the bottom of my radiator to make money. So, you guys got to watch out what mechanics you use. So, my next step is take this off. After I take this off, I got to go over here and jack that one up. And take that one off. And put this one on that one. Don't buy a PT Cruiser, guys, I'm telling you. But, like I said, before you do anything, as long as your oil don't look like this and the car still starts and running, this car still starts and it still runs, but it won't, you know, I can drive it, but I have to go 100 miles an hour and I can't stop at a stop sign and it'll die out, and then I have to stop and I have to wait 30 minutes. See how milky that is? It's a blown head gasket. Didn't look like that until yesterday. All because I forgot to put the radiator cap back on it. When you're doing 100 things at one time, you need to slow down, recalculate, get yourself, and go a little bit slower. That way, you know, when the tire blew like that, it kind of flipped me out, so another reason. But right now, I don't know what else I'm going to do to it. I got a little mad at it and kicked a big old dent inside of it. You probably don't want to do that either. You probably want to keep your eye on. I kind of messed up the inside too. I kind of busted my whole front end here, as you can see. Knocked all the knobs off of it. You know, I was getting so tired of messing with this car. I probably shouldn't have done that either, but I did. I did it. Yeah, I did it. So what? People do stupid things when they're mad. I'm so tired of messing. Man, just don't buy. There's that number. Damn it. Okay, just found the mechanic's number. Oh man, why couldn't I found this earlier? This woman gave me this. I don't want to put him out there or nothing, but I just got that number. I got it at the gas station the other day. But guys, if you own a PT Cruiser, that's probably a couple things you want to look for. Oh, and if you got water coming out of your tailpipe, like if you got somebody riding behind you, if you got water coming out of that tailpipe right there, more than likely you have blown a head gasket. And I don't know if I had water coming out of it or not, because my water pump was leaking. I was waiting until Saturday to change my water pump. I was going to take the water pump off this maroon one and stick it in this one. You can see the maroon one, it don't look bad on the inside either. It actually looks pretty nice on the inside. And, you know, it's a good little car. Oh yeah, it's got a radio. It plays all that stuff. Now, how do you get a radio playing a car without no battery? There is no battery in this car playing the radio. I'm the best dad in the room. No battery. How's that radio playing? How's that radio play without no battery? I can throw a battery right in this car, it'll start right up. The motor's not blowed in this car, nothing like that. It's just, I'm not a mechanic. I've already changed the spark plugs out, the coils. I've changed the oil. I've took the radiator off. I've flushed it out. There's nothing wrong with this radiator at all. That radiator, somebody took a flathead screwdriver and took a hammer and poked a hole right here in this bottom corner. So now it leaks. So that's why it's parked. And I went back to this one. I was just trying to make it until I got a couple of checks, and I was going to go trade these things. You can't even trade these cars in. I'm trying to trade both of these cars for a dirt bike, turn signals, so I can get back and forth to work. I can't even do that. So I suggest anyone that's got a PT Cruiser, if you're having problems out of it, and you got money, take it to a mechanic. Let a mechanic do it. But if you take it to a mechanic, they was wanting $1,200 to change my spark plugs and coils. I done it for, I think, $40. I took the coil, right there's your coils right back here in the back. You just pull them right off. Okay, right there's where your spark plugs go. You just take this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. You unloosen those up, and then you take this, tie it up. You get right up under there with your ratchet. You take your sockets out, and you put your new ones on there. Well, but that is an easy way to see if your head gasket is blowed, right here. Either this, if it's not on this, on your car. If it's not on that, head gasket's blowed for sure. I didn't know for sure until this morning. And check this right here. See how milky that is? Blown head gasket. And then also if you got water coming out of your tailpipe. The motor's not locked up on it, nothing like that. And the fan's not working. So if you got money, I'd suggest you take it to a mechanic that knows what they're doing. But me, I don't have money like that, because I have 5 of them. Yeah, 5 of you. You see, I got all my tools laid out here on the table. I'm really like stuck right now. I don't know what else to do. I can keep watching. You can watch YouTube videos. They'll show you how to do it. But, you know, I don't really, if you're not a real good mechanic, I don't think I'd mess with it. I could probably have this done in by 12 o'clock tonight. I gotta take this off. I just need the radiator out of this to put on that one. But see how it's good and loose now. Look, it's ready to come out right now. Always make sure you unhook your hoses. Like when I change this radiator out, I'm taking these hoses off and putting them on that car. But that car's got something wrong with the transmission, but maybe to make it back and forth to work for a couple of weeks. I've been working there for a while, so I'm gonna get my check. My next check, not this check, but my next check, I'm gonna go get me another car. I've got a dirt bike I'm looking at right now. Just something to ride back and forth to work until I can get me a Blazer or something. But yeah, that's a way to know if your head gasket's blown or not. Over and out. You guys have a good day, and hopefully your PT Cruiser is running great. But if you have any problems with your PT Cruiser, look on YouTube, man. They have 1,000 videos. I've changed my spark plugs. I've changed my, what else did I change? Oh, I changed my sensors down here. I've changed my solenoid on here. I've changed all kinds of crap on this car just by watching YouTube videos. I know my head gasket's blowed now because of watching YouTube videos. And everybody talks about how much they love their PT Cruiser. Well, I'm going to be the first one to tell you now, I got a limited edition PT Cruiser, fully loaded. I hate my PT Cruiser. I hate it. I wish I had not gave up my Blazer. My 05 Blazer. Went from Chevy to Chrysler. Oh my God, don't ever do that. It's very un-American. Chrysler sucks. Chrysler sucks. What's Chrysler do, son?
They suck.
That's right, baby. Pretty bad. My wife's got a marine one. I got a black one. Neither one of them run. I ain't got to ride back and forth to work. But that's the way to know if your head gasket's blowed or not. So let me show you the way this one looks. Now let's take this one off. Now let's compare them. Ooh, that one looks like good oil, doesn't it? Look at that. That's good oil. That's good clean oil. You know why that's good clean oil? Because that one leaks oil. They say, yeah, I ain't seen it leak it, but The oil stain off will clean it. Okay, that's the one off the car. It's not got a blowed head gasket. Here's one off the car. It's got a blowed head gasket. There's one off the car. It's got a blowed head gasket. You tell the difference? Okay, if you can't tell the difference, here's the dipstick off a... Here's lay them here on the table. We'll see what is the zoom in on it, so you guys can know if your head gasket's blowed or not. Go get me the dipstick out of the other one. So. Go get me the dipstick out of the other one. Okay, now we got the black one to you guys at Ben left. And we have the, no son, dipstick. Dipstick.
Oh.
No, you don't. You learn something new every day. Okay. It does. No, see, it don't leak oil. Man, these people are crazy. I bought this car for $150. I bought the red one for $150. Yeah, $2,400 for that one. That one runs better than that one. It's crazy. That one don't run at all anymore. That one don't run. Neither one of them don't run. What am I talking about? Alright. This is the maroon one. See the end of the dipstick? See the oil? You see how that oil looks? Good and black. See the end of the cap? Good and black. Or it could be clear. Even clear is good. That means you got clean oil. Okay, this is the black one. See how milky that looks and brown? See the end of my dipstick? You see how milky that looks and brown? That is a blowed head gasket. And that's how you know if your head gasket's blowed. And also, if you have water coming out of your tailpipe. And another thing, if you're jacking up your car and you don't have jack, like a jack stand, or if you don't have ramps, make sure you use 2 jacks. And I'd throw a couple of pallets up in there, a couple of pallets, throw you a couple of towers up in there. If one jack fails, you got another jack to catch it, because you don't want to be up under these cars and it fall right on your head. Like this one right here, I got 2 jacks. And that one's got a piece of wood. The first piece of wood I got snapped. But you can see this car has even broke my jack. You can see my screw's barely in there right there. Yep, it's ready to come out. But I always use 2 jacks on both sides, and try to throw you some tires or something up in there. Even pallet jacks. I got a toy up in there. A good solid toy. I got a tire up in the front. Because if that thing falls and you're up under it, it's going to crush you. It's going to crush you. It's going to hurt you. It might not kill you, but it's going to crush you. And I sawed me a piece of wood, put on top of the jack it up. I got 4 jacks up on this car. And anyway, that's how you know if your head gasket's blowed. I got a blown head gasket, and I got a busted radiator. So I'm stuck. I got to be at work in the morning. Not in the morning, I got to be at work at 3:30 tomorrow. So there we go. That's how you know if your head gasket's blowed or not. That's on any car, not just a PT Cruiser. Not just a PT Cruiser. Any car in America. If your head gasket is blowed, all you got to do is just look at your oil. And go check your tailpipe. That's all you got to do. Here, son, put that one back over there. I'll put this one back over here. And don't go pay no $1,200 to Chrysler to change your radiator or change your spark plug and coils, because they only cost $44, friends. I'm telling you now. Just don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I didn't do it. I changed the spark plugs and wires on this thing all by myself on both cars for, I think, maybe $44. The spark plugs cost me $4. The wires, I used the wires off that car, and then I took the wires because I found out the wires weren't no good, and I put another wires on it. I went and got the wires for $44, and it went off. Motherfucker! No, I'm making a good video.